Hey friends, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Deidre Pujols, and this is a moment we have all been waiting for. I'm getting ready to share with you an incredible dish. It's called Sancocho. It's a very earthy, traditional, special dish that comes from the Dominican Republic, and then some. Other countries also make this dish. This is something that in the Dominican Republic, on Christmas or on birthdays, when guests come over, this is like the dish that people make. I've had many different sancochos. When we visited the Dominican Republic just a few weeks ago, we got to visit with Ramona, who made the sancocho for us, and magically she made it in a 24-centimeter caldero, which is the medium-sized cookware, and it was such a blessing to see because typically this dish is made for many people, so you make big pots of it. So that was really fun for me to see Ramona make that dish in such a small cookware and know it could be done. I'll take you through the ingredients. Really, you can use any type of meat that you want. Today I chose to use a chicken, and I have pork steaks that I've cut up. Many times I'll use beef, sometimes I'll add ham hock, and it really is total preference. Lamb, pork, beef, goat, some of the meats that are more typical down in the Dominican. We also have used a variety of different roots and vegetables. We have a plantain, which is kind of common here. It's kind of like, I would say, a cousin to the banana. It's a starch while it's green. We have the mirliton squash, which is called chayote squash. We have the yautía, known as taro root. We have a yuca. And we have a yam, a yame, which is what it's called. And then last, we have calabaza, or auyama. It's basically a pumpkin. So we have these things already cut up here into really bite-sized pieces. This will make it easier and quicker when the water's boiling when we add them in. Over here we have cilantro, we have celery. These are the top of the celery. And we have cubanella peppers. You can also use green bell peppers, red bell peppers. Any type of pepper would do. We have sazon completo and oregano. We're gonna need corn. We took frozen corn and cut them into small bite-sized pieces. Here we have sazon líquido, and this is a liquid sazon. You can find it in specialty markets. They also call it sofrito. If you cannot find this, feel free to go on pujolskitchen.com and you can use the sazon recipe from the website. That will also make do. And then we have a couple of bouillon cubes, just nice sized chicken bouillon cubes. And then we have garlic, but as you can tell, the garlic are in somewhat whole pieces now. But what I want to do is what they do in traditionally mashing garlic in the Dominican Republic. It makes me so excited. But this is called a pilon, a mortar and pestle. And what I'm going to do is mash this garlic up like the ladies do in the Dominican traditionally. The last thing we have is like an all-season salt almost. It's called sazon completo. You can find it in specialty markets. If you live in a large Latin community, typically the markets will sell it. But that's just about basically an all-season salt. And then we have a little bit of olive oil to start our pot with. These are our ingredients. That's all we're gonna need. A little bit of labor. It's gonna be so much love out of it. So let's get cooking. We have sea salt mixed in with some garlic. I'm gonna put it in my pilon and mash it, which is fun. Before I just thought it was extra work, and I said, oh, I'll use my mincer and do that, but it's not the same. Just takes a couple of minutes. And I'm not kidding you, every lady in the Dominican Republic smashes their garlic like this. I mean, you know, we mince and we dice and we throw it in whole. No, that's not how they do it. And I'm inspired by them, so I prefer to do it their way. And that's about the consistency of what we need, just mashed up. With about 4 cloves of garlic. I love garlic. You can use more or less. It's up to you. We have our 30 centimeter caldero is what we're using for this dish. We're gonna pour a little bit of olive oil in there just to coat the pan. The first step is to add our meats. Now there's two steps here to this dish. First, we have to flavor and then cook the meat. And when the meat is getting towards tender, we'll add all of our squashes and our roots. What we do is add our sazon completo or all seasoned salt and the oregano. And the liquid sazon I mentioned about, or you can use the fresh sazon, which is on the Pujols Kitchen website. And then we have the cubanella peppers and the celery and the cilantro. My favorite of all, the mashed garlic that we mashed earlier. And one of the bouillon cubes. And that goes right over it. So these are all the flavors that we're going to start with. We're going to top it with water just to cover the meat and let it cook out. But this recipe excites me because this is the one that Ramona shared with me. She was the last person that we got to cook with the day that we cooked in the Dominican Republic, and her sancocho was so simple and it was really, really delicious just because of the meats and the freshness of the meats down there and the vegetables and the greens. I'm hoping that mine tastes as good as hers. Okay, so now I need to add water. So you want to pour just enough water to cover your meat. And that looks about good. We'll come back and check on the meat in probably about 20 minutes. We'll cover the meat, let it boil for about 20 to 25 minutes, and we'll be right back to finish it up. So our meat is almost just tendered. We want to go ahead and add the roots and the squash that we cut up into bite-sized pieces. If you see how nice that looks, the cilantro and the peppers that have cooked in there. And I added a little bit of water into the things we have cut up here, just to add a little more water to the dish. And we'll get that in there. You can add water as you see fit and salt to taste. One other fun part of this dish is corn, the corn we cut up. Try to get, my preference is frozen corn, the frozen corn, because it seems to me like it could be sweeter, but if you have fresh sweet corn, that's just as well. This is the point where you really want to taste for saltiness, and we'll do it like my friends in the Dominican, and they burn your hand. Taste it for salt. I think it tastes fine for now. I don't want to touch it again with the salt until the dish is really pretty much ready, and then I'll know if it needs more salt or not. So we'll cover that back up and let it finish cooking. So here we are. Our sancocho's been cooking for about a total of 45-50 minutes between the meat cooking and then the roots and vegetables added in. So now, the best part of all, we get to eat it. So I'll turn the fire off on that. Got my handy dandy bowl. And the smell from this pan is dynamite. And there's a mix of all the roots. And you got the corn in there. Get a piece of pork. That's about as much as I can eat for the first bowl. So let's go chow down. One of the best kind of condiments to have with the sancocho is avocado. Just slice right into it, add it on top, put it to the side, however you want. But it tastes fantastic with it. So we're gonna enjoy. I hope that this dish finds you in a good place, because it's really, really good. It's such a fun dish to make, just knowing kind of the history behind it and really the love of it behind it. You know, when you invite friends over or when we have a holiday coming up, this is the dish that people in a sweet place like the Dominican Republic are going to be celebrating with. So thanks for hanging out as I made this sancocho for you, and I hope that you have a beautiful and blessed dinner. And here's one of those guineos. Never tried that before. Está bueno el guineo.